Thank you for making Saints Central
your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
That's what I'm talking about. They were disrespectful all damn game long. The Saints did what they had to do, came into Tampa Bay, kicked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not only in their teeth, they kicked them in their nuts. And this is the NFC South leading team, and the Saints went in there and smacked them down 24-20 and will take the game away from them. Multiple holdings along the defensive line that the referees did not call, but that's a tough win. The Saints got the Carolina win. They got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win. Let's see what the Saints do. They're going to get in the victory formation and shut this game down. That's the first one. No way they can stop the clock. That keeps it going for the Saints. And the Saints are going to come into here and knock the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down a peg or two or three. So there you go. The Saints came in Tampa Bay. That's a big, give them credit, man. That's tough to do. When you're fumbling, stumbling, and jumbling all over the self, and you collect yourself and says, hey, man, somewhere along the line, we got to change the culture and the mentality too. That's what it happened in games like this against an NFC South leading rival. Let's go in there and pop these people upside their head and take the victory from them. And the Saints have done more than that, as they are in the victory formation, and that will seal the deal. The Saints, your Saints, get their third win of the season. Very respectable. Baker Mayfield got his head down as the Saints go in there and slap the piss out of him and knock them down. Third and 12, it's over with. Saints win 24-20, and that is good. That's all we can ask for. They came in the game and played well enough and won the game. How about the black and gold today, fam? How about the black and gold today? That's all right, man. That's beautiful. That's lovely. We just want you to play hard and play smart most of the time, you know. All right, big win by the Saints. Big win by the Saints, because what it does do is you need something to turn around the losing culture that you are constantly dealing with. You need wins like this in gutty performances. It's raining and the Saints went in there and they took it away from these folks. That's what I'm talking about. You won't find one Who Dat in the entire Who Dat nation that do not want to see something like this happen. When your team is looking for something, searching for an identity, and you grittily go in there and knock the Buccaneers off, and they needed a win, and you do it. I got nothing but respect today for this team. Let's give them a round of applause, man. Come on. It wasn't perfect, but goddamn it, the way they did it, you deserve respect for that. You deserve respect for that. All right, big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream, man. We did that. I'm very encouraged by that. I thought that was very good, the way they did it. The rookie quarterback scrambled around, got 2 touchdowns. The rookie running back got a touchdown. The young people on the team contributed to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their building. That is very respectful. That's a respectful win. You got to turn your culture some kind of way. You got to turn it around, and you do it with wins like that. You can build on this today. All right, anyway, let's keep it going, man. We about to get into the broadcast here. Let's hit this halftime, or this actually halftime, the final, end of the game or post game. We'll have Coach Kellen Moore. You probably have about 12 Saints that run up to the podium when they get a win. You know how this goes. We'll probably get 20, but that's all right, man. As this was a good performance by the Saints. Like I said, we'll have the post-game press conference from Coach Moore and all the rest of the Saints family members as they tune this thing up. But let's hit some of these stats. We'll bring in Pops Q right after we finish getting the stat breakdown, man, and we'll go into it, because this was a really phenomenal way they did it with Tyler Shough scrambling around and making plays happen. Final stats: Saints finished with 16 first downs against the Bucs 19. Saints were 5 of 11 on third down. Remember, the first half they could not convert. They had a respectable 5 of 11 on third down toward the back of the game. That helped change it. You got to win on the money quarter, and they did convert and started converting in the second half. Made the adjustments in the second half. The Saints scored 17 points in the second half to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did a lot of the goodness on the third down, finishing 5 of 11. The Buccaneers were 3 of 13. It flipped itself. They were 2 of 7 on fourth down. They played themselves with all that stupid fourth quarter stuff. Let's just be honest with you. They did it too much, and it cost them the game. 69 total plays versus 55 here. The Saints, 260 on total yards versus the Buccaneers, 301. 11 total drives there. Saints average went up to almost 5 yards per play versus the Buccaneers, 4.5. The passing yards, the Saints almost got as much as the Buccaneers passing, 121 to 122. With that, remember in a lot of the weather dip, kind of stipulated it. The Saints badly had, 20, 30 something yards at halftime. Look what they did in the second half to add on top of this. The rushing attack became the game for the Saints. 32 rush attempts for 139 yards. That was Devin Neal and Tyler Shough doing this. They averaged over 4 yards per run, and that really changed the complexity of the game in the second half. 179 rushing yards on 39 attempts, 4.6 yard average by the Buccaneers. The Saints in the red zone, no red zone Godzilla, no red zone zombies, no red zone killer skeleton men from the bottom of the Caribbean. None of this other stuff happening. There was nothing but positive stuff in the red zone. Saints were 2 of 3 in the red zone right there. They did have 10 penalties for 82 yards, but despite that, they still was able to secure a win against the Bucs despite the turnover. 32-12 versus 27-48 on the time of possession for the Saints against the Bucs, and individually speaking, Tyler Shough, 13 of 20 for 144 yards, 7.2 yards on the throw. He did have an interception. He was sacked 3 times, 65.4 yards, but he did his work in the running attack. Devin Neal finished for a very respectable 19 carries for 70 yards, almost 4 yards a run. He had a rushing touchdown. Tyler Shough scrambled 7 times for 55 yards and averaged 8 yards per rush and had 2 rushing touchdowns or scrambling touchdowns, however you want to say it. Audric Estime got a little opportunity to get in there, 3 carries for 11 yards, and Evan Hall had 1 for 4. The Saints had a 4.3 yard average and put up a combined 139 yards worth of rushing attack with Neal and Tyler Shough there. And that's the additive of Tyler Shough game. A scramble, you ain't gonna call him a scrambling quarterback, but the guy has the ability to move around and could be used in that capacity. And it was good to see him in a game while it was rainy to use Tyler Shough in this capacity. So that was a good adjustment. Devon Velli, 5 targets. He had 3 catches for 40 yards. He wasn't quite what he was in the Miami game, but he made several really good catches to keep drives around. Jawan Johnson was perfect in this game. 4 catches off of 4 targets for 38 yards. He moved the pile, almost 10 yards a catch. Chris Olave, 3 catches off of 5 targets for 30 yards. Helped things keep it going. Outside of that, Foster, Devin Neal, and Evan Hall each had a catch in the game. All right, and then, of course, on the defensive side, 2 guys, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Demario Davis was tied, 4 tackles, 7 apiece. No sacks in this game for the Saints defense, right? No sacks, but Alante Taylor did have an interception. Jonas Sanker almost had an interception in the matchup. Charlie Smith went 1 for 2 in this game, and Kai Kroger was 3 for 152, averaged 51 yards per catch, put 1 of the 3 on the touchback in the game, and the longest was a 54. So a good special teams play that helped set the Saints up on the first score. Special teams overall was very positive. The defense overall did what they were supposed to do, suppress the Buccaneers with 2 touchdowns in this game, and the rest was field goals. And then the Saints offense came alive and did what they were supposed to do. If they couldn't pass, they ran the ball against a tough Buck defense. They put up 139 yards against a tough front by the Buccaneers defense and beat them at a strength by running up against that D-line. And that says a lot about the Saints. They did a really wonderful job today. This type of stuff you want to bottle and then keep moving ahead and pressing on if you want to have success and build something going forward for the rest of the way. All right. So anyway, with that being said, shout out to y'all. Y'all hit the like button on there. Abby says, CQ, my brother, if the offense gives the defense. Okay. All right. I hear you, Abby. Shout out to you as well. All right. Anyway, man, we're going to bring Pops Q into the building as well, man. And he going to get his word. Pops, man, what do you think about this win tonight against the Buccaneers? They lead in the NFC South. Saints going in, kick them in the nuts, and still away from you. What do you think about that?
Not only they kicked him in the nut, they kicked him back behind the nut. They really played an efficient, outstanding game. I like the steadiness of Tyler Shough, the quarterback. I think they got to him a couple of times, but for the most part, he played a steady game for them Saints, and he's finally learning how to play the game as a young quarterback. And actually, he's starting to win. But to get his first win against Tampa Bay, one of the toughest teams in the NFL, that says a lot about how the young man played. And they had their offense working. There was and the defense had a pick, so they had everything working today. This is hopefully they can keep it going to finish the season out in a positive. I know they're not going nowhere in the playoffs, but they can. That's a good way to start. Because I think the new coaching philosophy has set in, and so you see it on the play. That the players are playing on the field. They're playing with what they're being taught. With their philosophy of the coaching staff.
Yeah, Bobs, I agree, man. I think, like I said, man, we were saying during the game is that if you're the New Orleans Saints, you want to make sure that whatever you do, you got to make sure that in this game, people are not really giving you much of a chance. So if you're the Saints, you want to make sure that you step in here, you handle your business, and you build on something going forward for the team to kind of rely on. In this game, we've seen a lot of our young players. Devin Neal had said in this without our, Elvin Kamara. Devin Neal came in there, gave you 70-something yards. Then you throw Tyler Shough's athleticism in there, 2 rush touchdowns, 21 points from the running attack, 139 yards against the Tampa Bay run defense.
Yeah,
very tough to beat Tampa Bay that way in their building. Saints went in there and did that to them. This is something going forward. Now we have the Carolina Panthers up, I think, in our building this time around. Is this not trying to go ahead too fast, but isn't this the type of mindset of stuff that you want to have, that you want to build, that you want to take and move forward with? Doesn't this kind of change culture? This is culture changing stuff right here. What do you think about that?
Oh, yes, definitely. Thing is, we got to keep the execution. We got to keep it going, even though this season is kind of, it done in the wash. But I mean, they played excellent today. I just sat here watching them on television. I love the execution. If you execute very well, 9 times out of 10, you hush that Tampa Bay crowd up, and they played that way in the rain. And it rained throughout that game until I think the last, parts of the fourth quarter, they finally looked like it slacked up. But they were doing this in the rain, like the pouring down rain. You could see it on television, how much rain. But they played an outstanding game. There's no turnovers. Nobody fumbled the ball. They did an excellent job. They got, who would give credit to that too? Only thing I can do is that, the players decide either to play or the coaching staff, the coaching staff philosophy is starting to take hold on the team.
Yeah, that's something that's very positive, man, because, with all of the losing, you're not going anywhere. We know the Saints don't have a postseason future this year. So at some point, you're playing the games to iron out wrinkles, to figure out identity, so that whatever we get, the best thing that we can get for the rest of this season is for the New Orleans Saints to develop a sense of identity, something that they can use going forward. Being able to run the football like they did. The defense over the last couple of games, Pops, really woke up. We've seen Cam Jordan get multiple sacks. We see Demario Davis play really well. Carl Granderson was absent in a lot of these games. Carl Granderson he woke up in this game and really stepped up and did a phenomenal job. We talk about the Saints defense? We know the offense, the special team did some great stuff. What about the Saints defense? Alante had a pick. What do you think about the Saints defense today?
Well, they for one thing, they kept a lot of pressure on Baker, and they played the secondary, played outstanding. They didn't give up any big plays. So overall the defense played a hell of a game, even though they gave up some touchdowns, to Tampa. But Tampa's got a hell of an offense themselves. So just for them to hold Tampa to 2 to 2 touchdowns and a couple of field goals, that was saying a lot to them. Saying a lot to us. That they really did. They really played a hell of a game today. I got to give it to them. They really did. And they show, like I say, I think they're picking up on what the coaching staff is trying to teach them, and to start believing in themselves, because nobody gave them an opportunity to. Nobody gave them any opportunity to win this game. They were predicted to lose this game. They didn't give them nobody that I was able to look at say give the Saints any odds to lose, to win this game the way they did. They went to Tampa and took the game away from them in their own stadium, and that's not easy to do. When you're playing in Raymond James is with that cannon in the end zone back there behind the end zone, making all that noise and people shouting at you, and the stadium is kind of close around the field. I just it was an enjoyable game to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too, Pops, and just seeing it, seeing how the Saints won this game. Like, they did not allow some of the, and I'm proud of them. Like, in most games, like, we didn't skirt through. The Carolina game was a good out front win, but this was one of the gritty. It's a gritty game. It was raining. The Saints couldn't pass the ball that well. They started getting into the running attack. The defense was doing it. They won this game as a unit. The special teams helped set up the offense's first drive, helped set up the first drive in the game, in which they were able to march and score on the initial drive. The special teams did a good job. Now, we know Charlie Smith did miss a field goal, but overall, special teams were solid. The defense did a very good job. Once again, Nate Shepard had a very solid game. He was getting held in the game. They did what they got to do, despite the fact that they gave up all the yardage. But I'm saying, when it mattered, the Saints did what they needed to do. The defense did, creating turnovers. They didn't get a sack today, but in the end, the offense, defense, and special teams in a gritty game. You can see they're still struggling with identity issues, this sort of thing, but they did a phenomenal game, changing this thing around. What does it say about Tyler Shough, the way he won this game? And not him winning it, but how he played in the game, rather. What does it say for some of the family members that still don't know what they have in the quarterback in Tyler Shough? What does it say about his performance tonight?
It says to me that the young man is learning how to play NFL football, and he's a rookie. I mean, look at that run that you're showing on your screen there. He took off and did a touchdown, slid all the way through the end zone, out the back of it. Just pure speed. He took off, ran around the left side, and he scored. The kid, like I said, the kid played. He's learning how to play this game, and I'm telling you what, if he keep on doing this, he can turn out to be our quarterback. He knows how to play. He knows how to win. He just, because I mean, the previous games he had, they had different issues coming up. Even though they had some of them that still had them foolish penalties, them 5 yards, give it to Tampa Bay, yards, giving to Tampa 10 yards for holding. But for the most part, the young quarterback was able to overcome that. So the team overcame that, which they didn't do in Miami. They didn't execute. This game, it's showing them they executed in this game, and this is the result. They got this victory, and I'm so happy for them, son. I really am. I'm happy for them because it's about time. And I'm happy, most important, for the young quarterback. That quarterback was brought here. I mean, they wasn't too happy with the other little fella. They wasn't too happy with him because he kept turning the ball over. I mean, come on. You're not going to win the game if you the simplest formula is you have a chance to win if you don't turn over the football. It's just that simple. If you throw interceptions or fumble the ball, then you have to put your defense back on the field so they get tired. Or you throw an interception, then the other team can run it back for an end zone, for a touchdown, or you stop them. Then your defense got to come back on the field. So as they learn how to play the game, I think we have a chance to start bringing some winning back to the Saints team.
Yeah, I kind of seen, the way they won today was very respectable, man. How the Saints won today, and like I said, it's no postseason future this year, but finding out what you have is very important. The Saints offensive line today, there was some issues and some problems. We got 3 guys in there that was hurt. Asim Richards got hurt in the game. They had to put in Sherman, the third string offensive lineman or the backup, however you look at it. He came in for him missing because Tolly's out probably for a few games. If not, probably he returned later, but I'll probably shut Tolly down with all the injuries that keep happening. But missing and have Luke Fortner at the center position, having Dylan Redunce play at the left guard position, Saints were still able to, for the most of the game, be able to get a positive push on a running attack to do these things, to be able to set up the scores for the touchdown. Yeah. What do you think about the way the offensive line played today?
That makeshift offensive line played its butt off. It really did. I mean, even though Tyler got sacked a few times, for the most part, they gave him the time to throw the football. They gave him the time to find the gaps and running lanes that he was able to take advantage of a couple of running lanes and ran the ball into the end zone. And he had time to throw the football. And that's all you ask for your offensive line to do, give you time where you can make plays with your feet or you can pass the football, get the football out to the right people so we can get some scores in here. And they did that today. They really played good. They had a couple of false starts, and I think they had a couple of false starts and a hold or two here. But for the most part, they came back and they executed beautifully. They did.
Yeah, that's a part of the game too. I'm looking at too, Pops. When we talk about our offensive line, we kind of banged up there, but it's good to see that we did enough on it. Here's Kellen Moore, family, what he had to say at post press conference. Put one of you check your head.
Just our guys' mindset and the way they prepared this week. Obviously, when you've only won a couple games during the season, there's a lot of adversity you face. And so for our guys to come out and have the energy and the physicality that they played with, I thought was credit to our guys. They're a special group, a group that keeps playing. And all three phases I felt contributed to this game back and forth. And so it was a really challenging game for both teams. And so it was big for our guys to come away with the win.
Can you walk us through your view of that second touchdown for Tyler?
Yeah, the longer one, the short one. Yeah, the scramble. Yeah, that was a big time play by Tyler. Pass play on first down, trying to get ourselves an opportunity. They did a good job jamming the receivers, and so we kind of got caught up. It got a little messy on the backside, and so for him to scramble and make a play like that, it seemed like there's scrambles a lot of times on the touchdowns against these guys on film, and lo and behold, another one showed up.
And I mean, just considering the conditions today, I'm sure you were assuming rain was going to be part of the forecast.
Yeah.
But when it gets the way it is, did y'all have to kind of change things on the fly and lean more into the run game during this game?
Yeah, second half for sure. The rain was substantial. It reached the point where, obviously it was going to impact the game much more. First half was kind of off and on. That was good for us to get the first possession of the game, to have the ball right there right before it rained, because obviously we knew the rain was coming quick. So that was a big drive for us. And then I thought our guys ran the football really well in that second half. I thought it was a good response by our guys, and the physicality showed up.
You guys have now beat Kellen, both teams that are tied for first in the division, and you get both on the road. Just make the record. How much does that tell you how close you guys are to that record?
Yeah, our guys have faced a lot of adversity this year. They've grown a lot as we've gone through this journey. And so, I think for our guys to keep battling, keep giving ourselves opportunities like this, I think division games are important no matter what. Every single year, it's important. You play these guys multiple times every single year. There's going to be big battles in the future and future years too. And so, it's every opportunity in a division game is huge.
This is just like one data point out of a lot of them for Tyler. Like you see, we're putting together that game. We didn't make any drive in the fourth quarter. What was that?
Yeah, I thought resiliency was awesome. Really good first drive for us. I thought we kind of got stuck there for a while. Much of the second quarter was a little lethargic there, and we just weren't executing at a very high level. And so then for our guys to respond, I thought in the second half, certainly with the run game, but then making plays when he had to. Some big third downs. I thought Vele and CO made some big time third downs. Jawan made some third downs in there. Seemed like there's timely plays by those guys.
I think you guys had 5 stops on fourth down today. A couple of them big late in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, just credit to our defense, big time. Fourth downs, big time plays, whether it's the run game or the pass game, run game, big time stops. Grando made the big tackle for loss. Kool-Aid on the sideline. There's the play where, there's a catch and he's physical at the catch point and makes it a bobble catch. And so, credit to our guys. They made some big time plays.
What do you think Devin did today?
Yeah, Devin was awesome. Really cool to see him go out there and play the way he did. Really lead that run game, the physicality he played with, the finish that he played with. And then even on the third downs, I thought the check down completion, he makes a play there and gets a first down. That was huge in this game. Yeah, just proud of our guys, the way they played. The resiliency. There's not everything was going to be perfect in a football game. You just keep battling, keep going through it. I thought that drive to start the second half was really, really important for us. And the way, it's pretty much a run every time. And they came off the ball and made some plays.
Touch on this a little bit, but is a game like this can it be pivotal or turning points for a rookie's confidence going forward, meaning Shough? Because, just all the things that were stacked against him, the weather, it's a tough team.
Yeah.
Do you look at it like that?
These are great opportunities for him to learn. You're going to play on the road, a really good opponent. This opponent's going to be battling all the way to the end, and then the weather obviously became a little bit of a factor, and so we had to face that. And so, I thought his resiliency was really special.
Did you guys consider challenging it? It was estimated that they're down line near the goal line.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a tricky thing because initially we viewed it the way it came in. It looked like it was being reported as a first down. And so we tried to go tempo in the reverse scenario to try and make sure we can snap the football fast because they, initially it looked like it was a first down and then they kind of pulled it back and turned it into 4th and 1. And then we weren't able to get the replay there. And so that was a little bit of a challenging situation for us. And so, we weren't able to get it done.
It was like a game clock issue then.
Assumed it was first down, went tempo because obviously, felt like it was close either way. Then it got pulled back to a fourth and short, and we weren't able to get the camera just because we were already in tempo, and so usually TV is going to go right to the live action in those scenarios. So, a little bit tricky.
Do you know what happened on the interception between communication and Shough and a lot of it?
Yeah, just not on the same page. Obviously, something for those two guys to work through. Didn't get done.
Just for you personally, having been through the challenging season, what's it like in the experience of being in the locker room?
Yeah, it's a good win for our guys. It's awesome. Again, for our guys to be battling, playing December football, still playing meaningful December football, maybe in a little bit of a different way than you hope. Obviously, I think our guys are battling for each other. They're playing for each other. They want to win all these. And, I thought just the way our guys responded for 4 quarters was really special. Tyler? I got down there pretty far, yeah.
Any update on Austin Richards?
Yeah, we'll see. He's got an ankle. So he wasn't able to return. We'll get the update tomorrow.
You touched on the shorter touchdown run by Tyler, but can you take the play call behind that design run with
the longer one was a read option play where, we're using some motion to create some lead blockers for him. Used the play a couple times. He pulled and, it was really a special run by him. I mean, for him to open up and run away from some people, and it was really a big time play.
It's the same play as the one that worked in the first quarter, right?
Similar, very similar. We used a few read option plays for him this game. And so, a couple different variations, but certainly it showed up a number of times in this game.
Does that, y'all ran for like 148 yards today. Does Tyler and his ability as a runner open things up for guys in the game?
I think it's a big part, especially when you play Todd and the way Tampa's going to play defense. He does a phenomenal job stopping the run. Can't remember how many times I feel like we've played Tampa and it's been really, really brutal to try and run the football. And so big time credit to our guys. I thought Tyler having that ability to run the football obviously played a factor into it. And so big time plays by our guys.
The 4-minute offense, obviously, you're going to run the clock today, you're moving the ball to midfield. Just how important is that for closing a game?
Yeah, the 4-minute offense is obviously big. It's not all run game. There's going to be hard third downs in there. You got to get conversions. I thought our guys did some really good stuff. We got it bleed down a little bit. Obviously, we would have loved to get one more first down and finish it off the right way, but credit to our defense. They responded really well, and to get that 4th down stop was big time.
Would you make it? I mean, obviously, you got to watch film, but like personalized calls, so you make a couple of key plays for the other day.
Granderson. Yeah, big time. Two tackles for loss, game ball worthy, big time plays. I thought our guys were relentless. Baker made some big time plays on 3rd down using his legs, and I think that's the challenge when you play these guys is Baker can make those extended plays, and so that showed up in the game. That was a challenge for our guys, but our guys just to keep battling was really cool. All right, okay.
All right, that's Kellen Moore on the mic, man, talking about some positive stuff right there. Hearing from what he had to say about the Saints, man. We'll have another one, probably Tyler Shough. I have 10 Saints up on this press conference, man. When we win, a lot of people like stepping up there and talking. But Pop's thoughts on Kellen Moore before the next guy step up.
Well, the guys are starting to figure out his offensive system, or maybe they decided to play. You come to play instead of just come for a paycheck. Because they really did perform excellently out there today. They had their moments, but they performed excellent.
Go Alontae Taylor.
Go ahead, Luke. Monday, you guys had 5 stops on 4th down today. How crazy is it just to be out there so much on that down and that position?
Man, I think coming into it, man, we just knew, they were going to be aggressive. And, with those 4th down plays, we were expecting them to go for them. And so I think Coach Staley came up with the right game plan throughout the week. We communicated on the back end and throughout the whole defense, and we were just able to just, get the stops. I think we've kind of been doing that all year. Every now and then we might lose one here or there, but I think we've done really good with getting stops.
Does it change anything mentality-wise when you go into a game figuring you're going to be on the field?
Nah, I think, when our numbers called, I think we've done really good in situational football. I think we've done really good with, sudden change. And so that just kind of just an extra play. If we have to play 6 downs, we got to play 6 downs. I think we held each other's backs today.
And you walk through your pick.
Yeah, Coach Staley making a really good call, seeing the formation, and just playmakers going to make plays, and just jumped the route, knew what it was, seen it, and just went for it.
What was kind of the vibe when you guys punted the ball to him, 2 minutes left in the game, you got that lead? What was your vibe going on?
Man, just play sound defense. Nobody has to do anything special. Put our eyes in the right place, do our job. And I think if we do that, I told the guys, if we do that, we'll be fine. And that's what we did. Flew around. Everybody had their eyes in the right place. Could have ended it there with the pick. But just getting us another down, another chance was what we was looking for. I think he just hit his hands and he just dropped it. So we'll get him throughout the week.
Which make a Kool-Aid's play on that 4th down?
Oh my goodness. Man, I went up to him and told him, I was like, bro, I don't think you realize how big of a play that was. Because some guys, in that situation, they kind of be like, oh man, he kind of just caught the ball 1st down, but he came up and finished him to the ground, and it gave our offense the ball in a really good situation and spot. And those guys got to do something with that. And so I just told him, like, bro, that play was huge. To me, that's just as big as an interception. And I think he started to realize, like, yeah, that is a big play. But Kool-Aid's been making plays, man, all year long. So super excited for him. And his growth is going in a good place.
Putting together a win against a team that's won the last 4 division titles, doing a good place in national division.
Yeah, we had a blast, man. I just kept telling them boys in the huddle, it's like being a kid again, out there in the rain. A lot of people will say that we don't have nothing to play for, but I think we do. I know within this defense, we still trying to be a top 10 defense, and we're right there, man. And so, we go out there every single play, just trying to earn our respect, man. And I think that's what we're doing. And I think, the other side of the ball, they did good today. Tyler running the ball really well, Devin running the ball really well, offensive lineman blocking, guys finding ways to get open, and Tyler just keeping his eyes downfield. So tight ends catching the ball. I mean, I think today we did a really good job, and especially, with that kickoff at the beginning of the game with Tipton running the ball. And so I think we just played complimentary football today, and I think all 3 levels play good.
Did you have an advantage point at all with go-ahead touchdown on the
Say that one time.
Were you able to see that go-ahead on that time?
Yeah, I seen it. I told him, I said, boy, I'm so glad he didn't go out of bounds or do anything like that. He put his head down, he got in there. But Tyler's a tough guy, man. Super excited about what he's doing now, and what he'll do for the future. Okay, cool, bet. Thank y'all.
All right, Alontae Taylor, man. Shout out to Alontae Taylor. He had an interception.
Yes, he did.
He played well today, man. Shout out to Alontae Taylor, man. Did a few positive things for the Saints, defensively speaking, Pop. And the thing that I really liked about this game is, like, it was a few plays where from a defensive standpoint that I seen that we needed to improve upon. Like we needed to, with the running attack, eventually, but from a defensive standpoint, like you mentioned, the top 10 defense, we got something to play for. I hear what you're saying on that, brother. I know one of the biggest things. Hold on just a second. Let me kind of mute them. That might be it. We know Tyler Shough is going to be coming up next, so should be talking. We'll probably get that interview. Mm-hmm. But because he should kind of bask in the glow of him getting this win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the way the Saints did it was highly respectable. In my estimation, the way they played in the game, this to me was a good win, even though I like the Carolina game, go into Carolina and beat the Carolina Panthers in their building. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going in there do the same way, but beating them in a way where Buccaneers needed a win. They couldn't overlook the Saints. This wasn't an overlooked Saints game. Yeah. Saints still took it from his Tyler Shough. Yeah.
All right, well, let's hear from the quarterback, Tyler Shough.
Like you experience a win. Obviously, you get the Carolina one, but like coming in this one 4 straight, to get the go-ahead score like that.
I mean, this is why you play football. You come in here in the elements, just with all your boys, with all your teammates, and we fought really hard. And was really proud of the O-line, just kind of chugging along the whole way. Did a really good job in protection. The defense was making huge stops. I think we did a better job of being a little bit more complimentary, and was just proud of all of our guys. They kind of took everybody, so it was just a lot of fun. That's the kind of thing I'm kind of resonate with me right now. It was just a lot of fun, and I think it just shows kind of how we are as a team. He was awesome. He was his usual self. I think, what we love about him is he's the same dude, win or loss. I think obviously, it stings a lot more when you lose. But at the end of the day, you look back on how you can get better, how you can improve, and same thing with a win. So, it was hard fought, and but a win's a win, and it's awesome, being there with all the guys. And
can you walk us through the go-ahead touchdown?
We were getting, Taysom on their linebacker for, maybe a pylon wheel shot, and it kind of got all muddied up at the end. So, was just trying to get out there, make a play, and just saw green grass and went for it. So, it was a really good job just driving the whole way down the field, and getting down there. So, stuff like that happens, and you got to go for it.
When you're making plays with legs like that, did you feel that maybe softened up stuff for that end?
100%. I mean, I think anytime we can be balanced, throwing the ball, me, running it as well, and then it opens up. They did a really good job. Devin ran his butt off, and all those guys kind of came in and stepped up big time, especially just because the grass was so beat up. Running, and that was tough for those guys, and they were getting dirty yards, and I was really proud of them. They played their butts off.
And tough weather conditions today.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, you sank, a few inches into the grass quite a bit, so it was pretty rough. It was part of it, I mean, that's why you do it, and everybody was prepared. So it was a lot of fun. There's no excuses. We got out there, and you got to drive the football.
But I'm assuming you all had planned for weather today, but that made it seemed like you leaned really heavy into the run game, and probably made the football a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, especially when it's pouring down like that, it's tough to hang on to the ball when you're throwing it like that. And, especially when you're driving, but, they did a good job switching them out when we could. And, but yeah, you gotta get those dirty yards, and then throw it when you need to. And, it's just part of it. That's why you do it.
You feel the confidence grow with each game, each start?
100%. Yeah. I feel every single practice, I've said it, every single week, I feel my confidence growing, more and more, just the ability to go out there, put points on the board any way we can. So, there's a lot of plays that, we can look at, and, I can look at and continue to grow with. But we're just really proud of everybody, especially against a defense like that and in those conditions to kind of turn out a win.
How do you feel to do some damage with your legs? You're known for your arm, but you guys a couple big plays with your legs.
Yeah, my mindset is, get it done any way I can. That's why you play football. So, I'll kind of continue to look back how we can continue to grow as a team and an offense. But, I think we all played well together, and, that was a lot of fun.
I feel like we've asked you guys a billion times those slow starts, so the big return from the tip and then capitalize on that right away.
It was great. It was a great feeling just driving down the field,
just operating our game plan, playing fast, playing clean. And that was our whole message, and whenever we were slowed up, we had the penalties, and I think it was self-inflicted wounds. So, we can look back and, it starts with me, just clear communication, getting everybody lined up, getting everybody's feet set. So I think that's, we look back at it, and that's when we had those drives stall out. So, I was proud of how we came out of the gate, hot, and we just got to continue to sustain that the whole game. Yeah. I was just thought he was going to keep going, converting as well and on converting it. But ultimately, it's my fault. So we'll get to a better play, and, that's on me, just miscommunication and, part of it. But I think was really proud of him, just kind of, especially all those guys running routes, staying friendly in some of their zones, winning versus man. So he did a great job all game, and we'll kind of continue to just, develop that chemistry. And but ultimately, it's on me.
And then you walked through the 34-yarders too, the longer the read option.
Yeah, ran it previously in the game and tried to circle it, with Juwan wrapping around, and knew if we got that look again and there was a seam, I was going to try and hit it. So just kind of blacked out at that point, to be honest.
And then, obviously, you guys want people to close it off in the 4-minute offense.
Yeah.
But to have the defense go.
Yeah, it was huge. That's the worst feeling as an offense when you have the game in your hands like that and you can run it out. What we were doing. Felt Bailey was open. It kind of got tipped, and it was an awkward play. Looking back, if it's close at all, could just just slide there and run the clock out as much as we could. So it's tough, bang play, but I think it just kind of shows the resiliency of our defense. Their mindset. It's unbelievable. They're showing up. They're on the field way too much. So they stepped up big at the end.
Two teams that you beat on the road are playing it for first place in the division. You guys are going to be watching them in the playoffs. Does that give you a sense of how close you could be in carrying some of that momentum?
Yeah. I mean, it's the thing I'm learning, every single week playing in the NFL is it's anybody's game. It doesn't matter the record. It doesn't matter, who you're going against. There's going to be some of the greatest guys you've ever played against on their defense, and they have a really great scheme. So we got to be prepared for the challenge. So that's my mindset, is just go out there. We can beat anybody. Whenever we're stalling out, we're beating ourselves. But I think that's why you play the game and knowing just how close we have been on some of those losses, and how we can kind of flip it on its head and keep producing those big plays and get those wins.
Then first rushing touchdown today. I think it's probably career high in rushing, but I think your go-ahead touchdown run, I think that was set up by that short dump and the return upfield on 3rd and 7.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just what do you think of his overall game?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best running backs I've ever played with, just from a mindset standpoint, his knowledge of the game, protections, running the football, getting north and south. He's such a great, pass catcher as well. So I think he's just an all-down back that, and obviously I'm really close with him off the field. So have complete trust in him. And we were talking to each other the whole game. Hey, we're going to win this thing. And me and you, let's put it on our backs, go out there and win it. Talking the O-line, let's put those drives together. So just a lot of fun, and was really proud of him.
Does it mean anything to you at all to be open up some eyes to you as an NFL football player this year? You wish people would say
I mean, I really care about, what the guys in the locker room think of me and my coaches. So, I mean, for me, I want to instill that belief that we can win every single game, because we can. So however we can get it done, I just love playing football. I said it last week, this is why you do it. So I think there's going to be highs and lows with everything. And but for me, it was just a great win to go out there with all the guys.
Any concrete season objectives as you wrap up your rookie season to just win every game?
Yeah, I mean, we that's our goal week to week. I think we got to go out there and we know what we can put together as a team, and just kind of keep getting better, and the wins are going to happen. Thank you.
All right, shout out to Tyler Shough.
Yep. Yeah.
Tyler Shough, man. All right, here we go. I'm gonna bring in this play.
Got you. For sure. All good. I did. That was special. It was a special moment, for me, and not only for me, but for this team, and I just think it's a representation of who we are. We could easily just be down in the dumps, go about it in the wrong way and not focus on getting wins, and everyone focus on, themselves and how they can continue to elevate their stats. But, at the end of the day, we fight for each other. And I think that represents our culture as a whole. And I'm just excited to keep on building with this team for sure.
Tyler was just saying that he kind of went to you and said, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just think we kind of just play off each other in a weird way. Like we have that connection, especially off the field. I think that helps on the field as well, and I remember saying to him and a bunch of the other offensive guys, like it starts and ends with us. I think, coming out of that half, it was big for us to get the ground game running. And I think we did that. I think it's going to come down to who can do it the best, and especially with the elements, what they were. So it was really cool to see how we were staying ahead of sticks, being efficient, and really just playing winning football.
I think your 21-yarder today, man, the first 20+ yard.
Yeah.
Saints running back this year. I guess the lead into that, does Tyler being so mobile open things up for everybody else? Like you see more lanes because you got to consider him as a runner?
Honestly, I mean, I think it could be a part of it. I'm not 100% sure, but I just think, him as a player, like he's so very versatile, and everyone kind of counts out his wheels, but he takes two, whatever it was, 20+ yard touchdowns, and that's another part of his game that's very underrated, and that people are, I think, hopefully they're starting to notice that, he deserves to be in this league. He deserves to be a starter. He deserves to get all the recognition that he deserves because he's a really well-built quarterback, and he's really good in this league. And you can just see him keep growing with more confidence and taking over the team, taking over the huddle. And, those are things you want to see out of your quarterback. So it's been really cool to watch this continue to develop. And, there's still things we got to clean up, and we know we got to be better. But, there was no better feeling than coming to the locker room and winning this game today.
Does it matter for a team, for the locker room, whatever, to have a quarterback go out and make a play in the fourth quarter, put the team ahead? Is that just like going to be overemphasized?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily overemphasized, but, I think there's another confidence there that, when the defense makes a pivotal stop, that they have the confidence that our offense is well ran and that we're going to be efficient, that we're going to do the right thing, we're going to stay ahead of the sticks and, ultimately win the game for the team. I just think that just continues to build on the confidence of the entire team. And that's why we're in this position now to where we can continue to fight, continue to battle, and hopefully continue to win down the line.
I think it might have been on that last step on that touchdown drive, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Third and seventh play, Tyler knocked it off.
Yeah.
What you see after the catch? Did you see a lane there? Or?
Make a play. Honestly, make a play, get the first down because I knew how big that moment was in the game. And I'm just glad Tyler, saw me in time. Had enough trust in me. And that's another thing. Like I said earlier, is our connection. He just has a natural feel. Is like, the pocket's collapsing. Let me dump it down to my running back and let's just make a play. Whatever happens. And, I'm glad he trusts me in that situation. And, ultimately I was glad I was able to make a play for the team in a very pivotal moment.
What were the conditions like out there today?
Oh, it was muddy, wet, and that's why, coming out of the first half, it was really important to get the ground game running because it was extremely hard to throw the football. Even though, when we did throw the ball, our receivers came up huge. Tyler's throwing the ball in the money under pressure. And, those are things you see from winning teams. And it was really positive to see that for sure. And yeah, it was the field was extremely muddy. And I'm glad, the O-line, they probably have the hardest job in that position. It's like stepping in quicksand every time you're trying to block a guy. So especially with that type of D-line, like they were really talented and we know what they can do. So it was really cool that we were able to battle those elements for sure. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really slipping and sliding per se, but the one thing that's obviously the most important is ball security. It's wet, especially a team like that who has two and plus guys that have multiple forced fumbles throughout their career. Some of the best to do it in the league. So it was definitely a focus for us. We're talking about it each time we're going on the field, ball security. And yeah, that's the one thing you definitely have to focus on even more than normal.
We talked about y'all having slow starts over and over and over again. To have a big return from six and then finish that drive.
Yeah.
How important was that to y'all?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it all week, and Kellen kind of talked about in the locker room, like let's start off fast. Like it's important to start off fast, and I think that first initial like punch in the mouth, they're like, okay, they're here, and I think the whole team kind of built confidence off that, and then you've seen multiple stops by the defense when they needed it. And today felt like one of first times throughout the season where we played, football together, where special teams and offense and defense were all connected to win a game. And, that's the important thing. And you continue to see those strides being taken each and every week to continue to get better. And that's the most important thing about this team and why there's such a bright future for this team as well.
It's kind of a late touchdown call on yours. Like, were you like, did I get my first touchdown?
Yeah, so I was on the ground. I almost reached it. I think I slightly did. And, they talk about not reaching ball for, obviously, ball security purposes. But I really wanted to get my first. And, I didn't know. They picked me up, and then they said touchdown, so then I had to celebrate. I lost the ball. I think they told me they got it, so that's a good thing, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know if I dropped it, whatever. I kind of just blanked out after that, just wanted to celebrate. Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, shout out to Devin Mill, man. Young running back, putting in work for the Saints, man.
Yep.
I mean, got to give it to him. Pops with Elvin Kamara out. Devin Neal stepped in there and made it work today for the Saints, man, and helped balance this team. So, man, you can never have too much great things to say about the Saints and what they're doing. Here go DeMario. Reverend DeMario is on the mic. Here we go.
Have you ever been a part of a team that had 5 4-touch stops?
Oh, wow. That's how many it was? Yeah, man. We have a high standard for how we play the game defensively. We call it style of play. And I think when it's 4th and 1, that's really where you get a chance to show it. I think we should have had one more. It was real close. I'm just saying, I'm a little biased. But, man, I'm proud of our guys. It really shows our culture. I think nobody wants to be 3-10. Is that where we are now? 3-10. Nobody wants to be there, but not all 3-10s look the same. And what I mean by that is nobody wants to be in adversity. Nobody wants to be in a storm. Nobody wants to be in situations where things aren't going the way that you want them. But you can either lay down in those times or you can show up. And I think when you look at how we play the game defensively, just go back and look at our entire season, but especially these last 3 and 4 weeks where the odds were stacked against us. Like when you turn the tape on, if there's no commentating, just go watch the film. And what it shows is like you would not think you're looking at a 3-10 defense. And that's a testament to our front. That's a testament to our second level guys. That's a testament to our back end guys. That's a testament to our coaches. That's a testament to the culture that's being built here. And I'm proud to be a part of it.
I don't want to take anything away from past coaching staffs or rosters, but does that feel different than it did in some Decembers past when you guys were not necessarily high in the season?
Man, I've been in this game for 14 years. And so in 14 years, I've seen 14 different seasons. And the thing that I can tell anybody, young, old, is you play the season that's in front of you. You play the game that's in front of you. You play the play that's in front of you. And I think we're doing a good job of that. All the breaks haven't gone our way. But as a whole, as a unit, we're continuing to show up. We're continuing to put the work in. And like I said, nobody wants to be in this situation. And this isn't the hand that you want to be dealt or the hand that you want to deal yourself. But as far as our coaches, as far as the players on this team, man, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of a group and come out and fight in the way that we did. On the road, you got to bring your defense. You got to bring your special teams. I thought our special teams did outstanding. You know, they started us off fast, gave us advantageous field position most of the day. Defensively, being able to get 5 fourth down stops. And I'm going to just keep saying it should have been 6. And then our offense, man, just running the ball well, making some big third down plays, scoring in the red zone, putting some big drives together, closing out the game. It was just great complimentary football. And that's to be the type of team that we want to be, that's how we have to play football. Man, that was fun. I think it starts with the front. Anytime you get a 4th and 1, it's really just when you hear the game is won in the trenches, that's what it's talking about. It's our defensive line versus their offensive line. It's like who gets that first strike. And I think because our D-line got such a good push, the lineman couldn't come off, and I was able to shoot through, and it's just, one-on-one with the running back. It's like a layup. So that was a fun play.
Do you have an assignment you have to follow on those, or do you get to make an educated guess about
You never want to be guessing in football.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good. But generally, as a middle linebacker, I'm going to be fitting somewhere between the tight end and the running back on the play. I think that just simplifies it. So find the tight end, find the running back, and as a middle linebacker, generally I'm going to be fitting somewhere in between there. And I think on that play, they end up creating a 3-by-1. So 3-by-1 just means a tight end and 2 receivers. And so at that point, I got to keep my eye on the tight end. I got to keep my eye on the running back. And I seen the running back going downhill, and it was just a little bit of a crease that I could get through there. And like I said, because our defensive line, who's been playing outstanding, our interior defensive line, I think if you just watched them over the past couple of weeks, they have literally shut down all running between the B gaps, and teams are forced to throw screens and run tosses and X, Y, Z. And so there was a little sliver of opportunity, and I was able to get through there and make a play.
I'm going to try not to like worry too much on this. I know there's 40 guys who had an impact on today's game.
Yep.
But when a quarterback makes like a really spectacular play late in the game to give y'all a lead, does that mean something to the team?
Oh my gosh, quarterback play in the NFL is premium. It's paramount. That's why those quarterbacks who get those big contracts, they deserve every dollar that they get. Quarterback play is the deciding factor when offenses and defenses are evenly matched. I think it's very hard for a quarterback to just stand in the pocket and just try to beat defensively, beat defensive like the game of old. I have a ton of respect for all those quarterbacks that did that, but I just think the pass rush is too dominant today, and the schemes are too complex for a quarterback to just be able to beat you in the pocket. And so the quarterback has to be able to read the defense, of course, and think quickly and do all those things, but the quarterback got to have some extra sauce too. They have to be able to keep plays alive with their legs, and they got to know how and when to run. It may be a run to keep the play alive. It may be a run to get the first down. And it may be, when you look at the team we're going against, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Baker Mayfield. And what separates him is that he knows how and when to run. And I think that's why their team has been successful. I think you look at the past 3 or 4 years, they won the division is because of quarterback play. And I think that was a difference maker for us today. We had high quarterback play. Very, very proud of the way, and I thought Shough did an unbelievable job, and to date, that's who he's been. So.
The ball gets punted, minute 56 left, double on the field. Like, what's the messaging? Like, what are you telling people at that point? Like, what was the kind of mission for that person to go on the field?
We've been waiting for it as a defense. We've been waiting for a 2-minute drive to be on us the whole year. That was the first one we got. And so we were ready for it. It's just been a long time coming. And it was interesting that it ended as fast as it did, because most times 2-minute drives don't end that quick. And so, kudos to us. We've been able to execute, but we've been looking forward to it. So it really wasn't – it was like a dog licking his chops. Well, it ended on 4 plays. Was it just a 4 and out? Man, so you gotta understand, like, coming off the field, a lot of times, you just dialed in 1 play at a time, and I don't never look at the stats and all of that. So, man, that's interesting that it was just 4 and done. Yes, that's the ideal situation, or take the ball away. but that just doesn't that rarely happens in the NFL. We know how close of a league we play in, that any Sunday can come down to any play, and especially in those one-score games, it goes down to the wire. So we've been like I said, we've been waiting on a situation like that as a defense the entire year, and it's great that our first one went so well.
Going back to Tyler, what impresses you the most about him as a rookie quarterback?
I think he has that. He's shown to have that it factor. What is the it factor? I don't know. What is that thing that separates, some of our top quarterbacks in the league from the rest of the guys? It's that savviness to make heads up plays. Like one of my favorite plays with him last week, it didn't go that far, but he was about to get sacked and he dumped the ball off to the tight end. Like, to have that level of ice in your veins to make plays when, plays are could be dead in essence, to save a play, to extend a play, to make big runs and big moments, big third downs, to be able to turn into that pocket passer that can read the defense quick and get the ball out. To have that diversity is what I believe that any franchise needs to be successful in today's game. I just don't think if you don't have that guy yet at that position that you're gonna succeed. And so it's been great to see him make those plays, and we need him to continue to make those plays.
Carried over today, whether it was a confidence thing or just like a blueprint for.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
How much of the work that you guys did in the first meeting with like the goal line stops do you think carried over to the game today, whether it was like confidence in your guys to stop them in those situations, or an intimidation factor, or anything like that?
I don't know. I think we take a lot of pride in our style of play, no matter who the opponent is. It just so happened to be that the last time we played them, that we stopped them on a 4th and goal, and we had them on another 4th and goal where they probably got in by some inches. And then today, it was 6 opportunities on 4th down to pull off a stop. And so, you could say they drew the short straw, I guess. But we don't, it's not necessarily them. You can pull out tape and see us doing that against other teams as well. And that's a testament to the guys. I think you don't make 4th down stops without great interior defensive line play. And a lot of those plays, like, we're getting great, play on the edges. Grando with 2 TFLs. Last week it was Kool-Aid came up with a big 4th down stop. So that's just the style of play. That's just how we, I take a lot of pride in teams not being able to go straight ahead. Like, you're going to have to figure out a wrinkle on the outside to get yards.
Do you like playing in the rain?
It's like being a kid. One of my favorite football memories was I was in probably like the 4th or 5th grade, and it was me and my cousins playing 2-on-2 football in the rain. And every time you tackled, it just felt like a highlight, because somebody would go and slide 3 or 4 yards and the water would go everywhere. And it just felt like you knocked somebody out and their helmet came off and their pads was flying everywhere. That's what it looked like, because the rain was splashing. And I just remembered, like, I wanted to savor that moment, because that was like one of the most fun moments that I had had in my life. And I probably had already fallen in love with the game, but I think that made me like, I want to be around this game for the rest of my life. And so when you get those little moments where the rain is coming down, it kind of takes you back to that, like, why you started playing in the first place. And it's just the joy of the game. And I I think one of the guys even said that it might have been Kool-Aid, and he was just like, man, it's like being a kid. We're just playing football, like being a kid and playing football and having fun. And I think we have that level of closeness with our group. That's what you see. Like I said, when you turn the silent tape on, you see our body language. It's like a bunch of guys having fun, and no matter what our situation is, there's a unique bond that's continuing to show up. And I think that's what I'm proud of, to be leader in a locker room that has that, because you can't buy that.
You feel that this team is getting better with each passing week, right? Like when you just described the time of the locker room, this team's getting better with each passing week, right? As the season ends.
You can say that. You can describe it as that. I would describe it as we're putting the right ingredients in the pot. Our head coach leads us with toughness together, joy. I think toughness comes from the way that we prepare, and especially being mentally tough. When you're 3-10, you have to have a level of mental toughness and resiliency to continue to show up with the edge that we do. I think togetherness, what you haven't seen, what you see in some teams when things start going left, is a bunch of finger pointing, or guys go to clicks, or be a bunch of stories, and all different type of stuff starts to come out. You haven't seen that. That's because we have togetherness. And then it's that joy element. The greatest joy comes from when you're able to put the work in and get the results, and it starts to be momentous. And I think that bled over into our entire team today. I think defensively, for like I said, the past few weeks, we've been able to put together some dominant performances that we were really proud of, and we were able to have that momentum and have that joy. And I think today it just bled over to the whole team, and that felt really good. Kellen's got ice in his vein. He don't change. Win or lose, he comes in the same. He's the same person every day, and I think that's as human beings, you respect that more than anything. You may agree or disagree with somebody, but when somebody's the same person every day, it's like, okay, I can rock with you because I know you're not going to change up on me. And that's how he's been. He's been steady. He doesn't flinch. I thought he did an incredible job of just play calling today and put us in an advantageous position to win the game. I got nothing but good things to say about him. All right, appreciate it.
All right, Demario Davis, good call.
That was Demario Davis.
My goodness. Much love to Demario, man. And, I have odds with Demario Davis at times, man, but this is not one of the times. A lot of what he was saying was factual. He was on point with his breakdown of the team today. It was what it was. The Saints put on a good performance against a team, man, that was very disrespectful. One of the family members, I think it was Jeffrey, shout out to Jeffrey Maxwell, who mentioned the fact that the Saints were, he felt that the Buccaneers overlooked the Saints. I ain't gonna say they overlooked them. I think they disrespected the Saints. I think overlook and disrespect is a different thing in terms of how they did it. They knew the Saints was a problem because they knew the Saints beat the Carolina Panthers in their building. They didn't forget that coming into this game. They just thought they can manhandle the Saints and walk past them. They were a little bit arrogant and cocky. But in the end, they got their issue. I thought it was incredibly stupid for them to keep running on them 4th down plays when they could have took field goals in their stead. They kept doing it, and a lot of that overconfidence crap, Coach Bowen should have reined them in and was smart about it. And like I said, the defense wasn't playing that bad where they couldn't stop the Saints. But that 4th down nonsense, Pops, was ridiculous all the way through. But anyway, what are your thought process on what you heard from a lot of these guys tonight, the Demarios? Shout out to Demario, shout out to the rest of them as well. Let's see what Coach Kellen was saying this press conference at the end. Look at Gail standing up there. This is their turn. They need to turn the sound up.
Quarterback that runs the football
Tyler Shough, 55 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Start fast, guys. There's no way to start faster than Mason Tipton with that 55 yards. Defense. Grando, 2 tackles for loss. Where's Delonte Taylor at the big time? Big time stop at the end, guys. They had a chance, right? Rally, okay? The biggest thing that showed in this game, guys, is your guys' resiliency and ability to play together. That was awesome, okay? All 3 phases playing together. One team has a moment, okay? Lift ourselves back up. The next group responds the right way, okay? Awesome game. Way to respond. That's really, really special. Love you guys. Cam, let's go. Break it down, man.
Let's go. Hey, the world count us out, baby, but we still fighting. We still swinging. They didn't want us to win, but here we are. We say Shucky. Saints on 3, 1, 2, 3, say.
All right, shout out to Cam and the Saints on that play, doing it, closing it out. We only seen 3 of them on the year. We'd love to see more of those type of performance by the Saints, but they earned it today. They spiked down on the disrespectful Tampa Bay Buccaneers and got a win and really hurt them because now Carolina is tied with them, and of course Carolina's up next. Pops, what do you thought about all those interviews?
They're just an excited team, just excited to get a win against and they just happy to get a win against a good team like the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers play great football, but the Saints came in there and they took the game away from them, and they gave the Saints a little bit more confidence for the next game they have coming up. And the quarterback play, I think, was outstanding today. The play of the young quarterback, Shough. But I mean, I'm telling you, they could keep on going like this. We may have something. We may have found our little quarterback, but we won't know for sure until we maybe finish this season and see how they do in the last few games they have left. I mean, I just found out Atlanta is out of eliminated too. So what they lost, they had today. So that's gonna be 2. That last game in Atlanta Stadium up there, that the Georgia Dome or whatever the thing is over there, but they go. That's gonna be a pretty rough time game because Atlanta. I think Atlanta comes. We go to them, right, son? Yeah, we go to them, huh? Yeah. So that's gonna be a fun game to watch, even because either one of them going anywhere. So it's gonna be. I guess they'll beat each other up to find out who for bragging rights. Okay, so we split with the Bucs. We and you think about it, son, we split with the Bucs. We also we beat Carolina. If we win this game in Atlanta, I think we have a nice little collection of wins in the division, you know. If we can win the next 2 games that we have with Atlanta and Carolina. I'm kind of thinking we can win Carolina, but they are a vastly improved team than they were when the Saints faced them the first time. So it's not going to be an easy win like it was kind of before. The Saints just punched them in the mouth, took the game away from them. But I think it'll be a lot worse, a lot tougher game for them. But like I say again, the Saints won. And they beat Tampa on a wet, rainy field. You know, they played a great game. I'm happy for them.
Indeed, Pops. They did a phenomenal job, in my opinion. It wasn't easy, and it showed a lot of intestinal fortitude to get a win like this against the team and to beat them in a way where the strength of the team to a degree was running. Right. Vita Vea and Logan, those guys are pretty good interiorly, and the Saints still able to get 139 yards scrambling on them and handling the business. And the defense just shut their mouths on these stupid 4th down calls by them. Anyway, let's hit some more information before we get ready to close out the stream. Let me get you guys to give me a like button if you're not a subscribe, sub up to the Coma. We in this thing representing the mighty Who Dat Nation. Both Coach, about to say Coach, but Minister Demario Davis did mention about the it factor. Let me just want to clarify what he was talking about for those like, what is the it factor? I had to kind of Google this thing And this is what the definition, as they said, is the it factor is a compelling, often undeniable quality that makes a person magnetic, charismatic, and instantly captivating. It is a combination of self-confidence, authenticity, and an indefinable presence that draws people in without conscious effort. While hard to quantify, this quality is recognizable and is often associated with success in fields like entertainment and sports, where it's called star quality. The characteristics: confidence, quiet self-assurance, not arrogance, which means they are comfortable in their own skin and know who they are. Authenticity: people who with this factor are compelling because they are genuine, unafraid to be themselves, which makes them feel secure around them. Then they talk about charisma and magnetism. This factor is about drawing others in, making people feel seen, and having natural, effortless appeal. They focus on others. They have the ability to make other people feel special by giving them their full attention and making them feel heard. Unrestricted self-expression. This quality allows for a natural and uninhibited expression of one's personality or core self without self-consciousness. So that is some of the stuff that Demario was talking about with, is this Tyler Shough? Based on the it factor definition, is this who you guys think is Tyler Shough? Does he have the it factor according to this definition? Anyway, let's kind of move forward. Possibly give you the opportunity to respond on that. Let me hit some of this stuff and we'll bounce back to it. Saints scoring drive, how it happened for the game in the 24-20 win over the Buccaneers. The first play in the first quarter, 6 plays, 45 yards, 236. Saints get the touchdown with 12:24 on the clock. Devin Neal's 3-yard rush into the end zone made it 7-0 quick. Then later on, 7:57 on the first quarter clock, Bucky Irvin, 24-yard run from Baker Mayfield, and 7 plays, 67 yards, 4:27 on the clock. They tied the ball game up 7-7. Then the third quarter came around. The Bucs were able to get a little separation, 10-7 off Chase McLaughlin's 41-yard field goal at 9:11 in the second. Then, of course, halftime started. Saints made adjustments. They came out and secured and took the lead back with Tyler Shough's 34-yard run with 11:27 in the middle of the third quarter. 3 plays, 47 yards, $1.19 on the clock.
I'm
give them the score of 14-10. And of course, then a touchdown came back by Sean Tucker on a 1-yard run. 7 plays, 65 yards, 350. The Bucs took it back 17-14. Saints then tied up the game with a 30-yard field goal from Charlie Smith on an 11-play, 53-yard drive with 6:05 on the clock, made it 17-17. Started the fourth quarter. Saints took the lead for good. Tyler Shough's 13-yard run on a 9-play, 53-yard drive for 422 at 8:26 in the fourth quarter. They went up 24-17. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were forced to take a field goal from 37 yards out on a 9-play, 41-yard, 332-minute drive at 4:54 in the fourth quarter. Saints take it 24-20. A lot of people talked on the podium. If you look at what the Saints did, this is the draft picks that they had in 2025. Kelvin Banks Jr. has started for the Saints at left tackle all season long. We're starting to see Tyler Shough. Shough has played in several games thus far. We're seeing his scramble abilities, athleticism, and what he was able to do to hurt the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Vernon Brockton, the 3rd-round pick, was injured for the year, but will return. He's a big part of it too. Very raw, but showed a lot of potential. Jonas Sanker is starting for the Saints at the safety position. 3rd-round pick. Danny Stutzman is a co-starter with Pete Werner. He comes in and out of the games. He also had a couple of tackles today. Quincy Riley, the 4th-round pick, played in this game as well. Had a few plays to help the Saints, and one play that kind of hurt him. He was called on the pass interference, but nonetheless, he did have some quality plays as well. The 6th-round pick running back, Devin Neal out of Kansas, he is starting right now and had a 70-yard game for the Saints. So you can see a lot of the Saints draft picks are playing. Kelvin Banks, Shough, Jonas Sanker, Danny Stutzman, Quincy Riley, and Devin Neal. All are in there playing. And in the 2 7-round draft picks, Matavo and Diggs are on the practice squad. It'd be interesting to see what Matavo could do if the Saints did activate him and play 6'8" tight end that can help. And you see Fadil Diggs is another guy that also played in preseason. He was activated a few times this season as well. So the Saints 9-player draft 2025 class has really bore some fruit, and hopefully they can take that philosophy into next season. Now, NFL scoreboard for today: the Broncos at halftime are beating the Raiders 14-7. Bears trail the Packers at 4:49 in the second, 7-0. Rams up on the Cardinals 17-10 with 2:47 in the second quarter. Tonight's game, Texans and Chiefs matchup. And of course, the finals from today: Seattle beat the Falcons 37-9. The Falcons are now 4-9 right now. And I'm thinking they might fire Raheem Morris on Monday. That's what I'm thinking. The Bills came back to beat the Bengals 39-34. Titans came back on the Browns 31-29. Sanders had 3 touchdowns on 364 yards passing, 23 of 42. Not good enough, as the Titans were able to get their second win of the year, 31-29 over Sador and the Browns. The Vikings 31-0 on the Commanders in the matchup. The Dolphins win a couple of games in a row. They were able to take care of the Jets, who are now 3-10. They lose 34-10. Of course, we know about the Saints getting their third win of the season as well. The Colts lose to the Jags 36-19. Jags are now 9-4, and the Steelers, led by Aaron Rodgers, he had 284 yards on the touchdown. We're able to beat the Ravens and Lamar Jackson 27-22 as the Ravens go 6-7. The Steelers are now 7-6 on the season. So, of course, Thursday night matchup, the Lions were able to beat down the Cowboys 44-30 and make them 500 again, as the Lions had a little toughness, but they kind of climbed up. And, of course, Monday's matchup as the Eagles and the Chargers dueling it out. And teams on the bye week, the Patriots, Giants, Niners, and Panthers. We'll have the Panthers coming up this upcoming week. And, of course, that's a bit of the preview as it leads us right into this matchup. As the Carolina Panthers come into the Dome, it's a 3:25 kickoff time game next week in the Superdome. Afternoon game, Saints 1-5 at home. They improved to 3-10 overall. The question is, can the Saints take what they've had today or what they've learned today and bring that into the matchup against this Carolina team that's looking for something, heading forward? They're looking at the fact that the NFC South is now in their possession after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost today thanks to the Saints. They're thinking about, hey, man, we're tied with the Carolina. We're tied with them. We're tied for the number 1 spot. Tampa 7-6, Carolina 7-6. Can we do something here? Can we kind of beat the Saints, kind of leap ahead and take this division into our hands? We have it at the precipice. Only problem is the Saints are very interesting team. Like we said, we did beat the Carolina Panthers by 10 in their building 17-7 several weeks ago. We do it again to Tampa Bay. After we beat Carolina, we lost 2 games in a row. Can the Saints start stacking wins right now? The reality is, after this win, really it's supposed to be a 2-game winning streak. The Saints, a catch by Chris Olave lifts the Saints, and the Dolphins loss. The Saints now beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The next couple of games the Saints play will be very interesting. The Carolina game will be interesting. And of course, the Saints have 4 games remaining in the season. Carolina in the Dome, Jets come to play in the Dome, and then away games finishing the season against the Titans and the Falcons. So the Saints very well could, at the very least, get on a 3-game winning streak or a 4-game winning streak or even a 5-game winning streak to close the season and finish strong. Can the Saints pull this off? It all depends on the consistency model. That's a lot to chew on, Pops. To start off, the it factor, along with the preview of the Carolina games, wherever you could want to jump in there, you can go for it.
Well, like I said, they're winnable games. Carolina might be the toughest out of them, but I think they have a shot here. Atlanta's spiraling. They're spiraling. They're down. So we have a shot. I do say that Atlanta's would be a tough opponent, because that's what his name, the little guy, what his name? He said, that's our Super Bowl to beat the Saints. He's talking about Low.
It's about Low.
Low, yeah. So Low. But anyway, they're all winnable games. If they play these teams the way they played Tampa Bay, they have a shot to win. And if we can Tyler Shough is learning to understand the NFL game, then we're gonna see more wins like that. We could actually stumble to a fairly respectable off season there,
Yeah, it's like I said, it's on the screen for some of the family members to see, like the last few games right here, as you can see that we got here is
Carolina's coming
finish
up.
with a streak here. That could be an interesting thing. Is as you can see right here, Carolina in New York in the Dome, and then of course the Tennessee Titans away, and then the flex game Atlanta in 2026. So Saints could finish strong, man. They really could.
Yeah,
they could be, because they can beat the Jets, they can beat the Titans. Hell, they it's pride to finish out against Atlanta. I mean, you got to have the pride. You lost to Atlanta. You do not want to be swept by the Falcons. So at some point that has to kick in. So Saints could pick up a quick winning streak right here. They are prime for it to kind of finish the year strong. Don't want to kind of jump too fast, Pops. You want to keep game by game approach. But talk about Carolina. What do you think about the Carolina matchup? Can we get that early preview on that?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good game. It'll most likely be a better game than the first encounter that they had in Carolina. But then there is a certain home field, dome field advantage if they're playing them here, right? So we do have a dome field advantage here. To look at the percentages there, predictor. So they could possibly beat the Carolina Panthers. But like I said, it all depends on how they play. The it factor has to be really showing. And then because they beat them when they had Rattler at quarterback. So they should be able to beat them with Shaw, a much better quarterback than he is. So this could possibly be another win for them. Because they played good, steady football today. Man, I'm pulling for them. I really am. I'm pulling for the Saints to get this dub, and then we'll move on to the Jets, and there's a possibility the Jets are bad, so we should be able to get that dub too. That'll be two of the last two, and get a win the final game in the Dome. Give the people something to be excited about, for toward next year. But they got to keep playing the way they played now, that they played today against Tampa, because nobody gave them any opportunity to beat Tampa. They just didn't give it to them, and they came out, and they took the game from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and won it. And that's what we're going to need to do from now on through the next 4 or 5 games that they have left, whatever's left on the schedule. We got to try to win all those games.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking that they have a possibility that they can win at least 2 of them, maybe possibly all 4 of them, because all those are bad teams. They're not good teams at all. We just got to stop the mistakes. We did the same. We made some of the same foolish mistakes, the jumping off sides and holding penalties, the same thing that drive destroyers. You got to stop doing that. You got to listen to the snap count before you move. And it's the same, like I think it's one of the same characters that's doing this. What is it that pay attention to the snap count? We don't want them. We don't want to give them any time or opportunities to beat us. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, very true, Puffs. The only team that we face over the next 4 weeks is over 500 is Carolina,
right?
Who's 7-6.
You already beat them.
Right. All the rest of these teams are sub 500 teams. So, and a few of the teams like the Jets and the Titans are lining up for the first and second round draft picks in the draft. So it depends on how the Saints very well, if they could put it together and stop the miscues, like you said, we talked about it during the game. Stay out. Just stop getting in your own way. You might see something positive and something build going forward. So we'll see if this counts for anything, if they can put it online and actually and turn it into something tangible that we can use from week to week. This could be something strong. So we'll see how it is, man, with the Saints. We've been talking about this all the time. They'll show a little bit, even though this is a real gutty performance and win. Doesn't mean anything in the long run. Can the Saints add to it in some way where they can build around it going into the rest of the season? Nothing to play for except for the fact of finishing strong and earning your money and just representing the Who Dat Nation in the most mightiest way that you possibly can is all we can say.
Right. That's correct. And then I think they that win really lifted them, their spirits, to go out there and perform. Everybody, like the team was in motion, was in synchrony rather. Everybody seemed to be on the same page. And Tyler's learning how to play football, and we need leadership out of him. And he provided that today. So I think he's hitting his stride. And if he hits his stride, I think we'll see some wins come together.
All right, indeed. That's the end of it. Well, with that being said, man, we appreciate y'all for chiming in on this episode of the show. And the Saints win. Saints shock Bucs 24-20. Get their third win of the season. Very respectable win. Next up, the Carolina Panthers next Sunday at 3 after 3 o'clock kickoff time in the Dome. Man, we can make right. I mean, well, we have to defend. We can sweep the Carolina Panthers, but one game at a time is the approach. A bunch of winnable games going forward, man, for the Saints. Can they tool up and use this to make a lot of, if they can put it together now going into next year, that will really light a fire under the support base to see how the Saints finish the season out going into the draft and everything else. And it will definitely help out. But for right now, Carolina's up next. Saints took care of business this afternoon. I mean, the early noon after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Really proud of them doing that. And we will continue this motion. So with that being said, man, we're going to holler at you on the next one. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the share button. Sports Coma representing the mighty Who Dat Nation, Big Q, Pop Q. And we're going to holler at y'all on the next one. Much love, peace. And Who Dat to you.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDitDaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.